Hi everyone, this is Mehul Mehta and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I will discuss a lot of common doubts that students have related to masters in quantitative finance. So a lot of students do reach out to me on LinkedIn and they have mentioned, I feel like a lot of questions that they have mentioned is the same. So I'll just try to answer one by one. So it will be like close to 5 to 10 questions. And if I feel that the video is going longer, I'll just divide the video into two parts. So I'll just go one by one on the questions and discuss it. So what's a master's in quant finance and how is it different from masters in finance? And all my perspective will be based out of USA. So every answer that I say will be as per US, right? So the thing is, masters in quant finance versus masters in finance, they are very different. Even though I understand that it's all about finance, but eventually it's very different because the coursework that you study in masters in quant finance, it will be a lot of mathematics, statistics, and programming, and their application will be in finance. So some of the subjects that I studied while I was pursuing my masters in quant finance were derivatives, risk management, credit risk modeling, machine learning. Then we had fixed income products and modeling. Then we had something called as stochastic calculus. Now this stochastic calculus also goes by computational finance or financial mathematics. Then we had Monte Carlo simulation. Then I know like some of the institute they offered like portfolio management. Some offers like portfolio management and optimization. Then there are a lot of regulatory courses like risk management and regulatory standards. So these are the subjects that you will study in a typical masters in quant finance. Now every subject that you study is very mathematical driven, statistical driven, programming driven, because I remember every subject that I took, I was doing some of the mini projects or the major projects, and everything I was doing in coding. I was using coding. So honestly, math must if you're someone who likes mathematics, statistics, or programming, definitely masters in quant finance is a good field. Also, a lot of students do reach out to me and they say that, hey Mehul, I'm interested in masters in finance. Now the issue is most of the masters in finance cohort, you'll see a lot of American students in the cohort, whereas most of the masters in quant finance cohort, there are a bunch of Chinese and Indian students, and that's where quant finance in general is becomes very attractive. Why is that the case? Because if let's say there's a job posting out there for quantitative finance, be it any quant researcher, quant developer, quant analyst, risk analyst, anything like that, right? So you'll see most of the Indians and Chinese students applying for those positions, because in the cohort, in any masters and quant finance cohort, they are very small American students. The size, I mean, the number of students, the number of American students, they are very small, and that's where they have like the companies. If they want to attract good talent, they'll have to sponsor all these jobs, and that's where we as international students gets an edge, because we all these jobs that are posted out on LinkedIn, their career pages, they are all provide sponsorship. And also because the competition with the local talent, which is like the American citizen, is way too less. That's where they have to hire us anyway out. They don't have any options. It's not like, okay, they can go and hire American citizens. Why? Because there are not many citizens out there for quant finance program. That definitely over the years, I've seen like, okay, there the number of American citizens are increasing, but it's nowhere as compared to number of Indian students and Chinese students. That's the first thing. The second thing is masters in finance. Most of the lot of students in the cohort are American citizens. Also, even if they are not American citizens, but what I have seen is most of the financial analyst jobs, whatever you see when someone pursues masters in finance, right? All the jobs that you see related to that, let's say financial analyst, uh, any because anything on those lines, right? You will see lot of Americans applying for those roles, and that's why all this financial analyst job, they do not have any sponsorship available. So I will really request, please, if you are planning to pursue masters in finance in USA, rethink about this, because I've seen a lot of people, a lot of students who did masters in finance and eventually they did not get a job. So why is that the case? Because all the jobs do not provide sponsorship, and even if they were providing sponsorship, they hired bunch of American citizens. So just imagine who will apply for a financial analyst job. People who are pursuing masters in finance, people who have pursued masters in quantitative finance, people who have pursued their MBA in finance. Now, all these MBA folks, right, they have like 4 to 5 years of experience in general. Average, on an average, they have like 4 to 5 years of experience. Why will someone hire you instead of the other person who's coming with work experience and with the same amount of salary they have to give, right? So that's why I'm saying like if and that's not the same case with quant finance, because quant finance is very mathematical driven, statistical driven, programming driven. That's why MBA folks cannot apply for quant finance job, because they do not have the right amount of knowledge about all these disciplines which can be applied to the quant finance domain. So that's why I'm saying, if you're coming for masters in finance, rethink your decision. Please talk to alumni, like if they have they gotten placed. Also, a lot of universities, I'm telling you, they do not report the right numbers. Okay, so don't just blindly trust and come in USA, because I know like so I'll not name the university, but I know that they say that they have like this number of placement, and I knew like they do not have that much, because I know I have spoken to the cohort, the batch, and they have said no, this is not true. So that's why I'm telling, please make sure. Uh, do not completely trust on universities. Talk to students who have gone there, who have their pursued masters, be it finance, be it con finance, right? And then you make a wise decision. So that's the first one. That's few of the points. Also, okay. So coming to, so sorry, this went too long. So coming to second question. Um, what kind of careers opportunity does a master's in quant finance opens up? So there are a bunch of opportunities. That's the best part of it. For quant finance, you can go into quant researcher, quant developer, quant trader, quant analyst. Then we have quants working in risk domain. Then you see, so basically you'll see credit risk quant, market risk quant. Now they are quant working in model validation. So that's where you'll see model validation, model risk management or something like on those lines. Also, I've seen like a lot of quants, they work for specific desk. So there'll be a commodity desk, a fixed income desk, maybe a derivative desk or something like that, different asset classes like equity, commodity, or interest rates. And so sometimes people hire only for specific asset classes. So point I'm trying to say is there are a bunch of opportunities for masters if you are planning to pursue masters in quant finance. But when I say there are a bunch of opportunities, that also means that there is a good number of competition, because now the quant finance is becoming actually competitive, because a lot of students from different domain are trying to pursue masters in quant finance, and they are trying to increase the competition. So even though a lot of opportunities are there, still there is a lot of competition, and to stand out, you have to have good, you need to come here, work really hard. That is one thing which I feel a lot of students actually forget. you know as soon as they come here, they go left, right, center, into all wrong directions. They party and they do XYZ things, and that's where the issue is. Masters in quant finance is really challenging. It's very hard. It's not like a piece of cake. Eventually, I know people, students copying each other's assignment, and you can submit the assignment by changing the phrase or use chat gpt. But if you are not understanding the concepts, if you are not doing assignments, if you are not doing projects, it's you that is in loss. I'll tell you why. Because you'll eventually pay $60,000, $200,000 to the university. They'll take, they'll teach you, they'll take tests, even though you get a good GPA. But if you do not have the knowledge, you won't be able to crack jobs. So eventually you are going to hurt yourself. It's not the university, they have gotten the money, and it's for them, it's not a loss. It's the loss is for you. Being an international student, I understand how challenging is it, to take loans, first of all education loan, to consume your personal savings, and then utilize it for the education purposes. And then once you think, when you come to US, you think that okay, you'll get a good job, right? That's where most of us come here. And you'll think, okay, I'll get $100,000 job or a $200,000 job. And then after you graduate, you do not have a job. That's where you start thinking what went wrong. And that's where you will realize all those 18 months or 24 months of program in which you were just copy pasting assignments, you were not hearing out into your class, you were not paying attention in the class. That will really hurt you. So if you're coming here, please make sure you work really hard for your masters in quant finance. But again, as I said, bunch of opportunities out there. You will get one only if you work hard. So that was like the second question. And So there's this one more question: who should consider pursuing a master's in quant finance? And this is, a lot of students ask me this question because the mindset is that in India, at least the mindset is like only IITians can crack quant finance jobs, and that's the worst thing, someone can say. I'll tell you why. I have seen BCom students transitioning into quant finance, BBA students transitioning into quant finance, CA students transitioning into quant finance, and engineers like me, myself, right, transitioning into quant finance. So if someone is saying that, okay, you coming with the economics background, or you coming with a finance or a commerce or a engineering background, you cannot transition to quant finance, that's actually a lie. All these universities, they really do a good job in training you, and that's why you'll see a lot of their programs are 18 months or 24 months. So they will actually train you, they'll make you a good con, they'll make sure you have a strong base in mathematics, statistics, finance, economics, and programming, definitely. So don't worry, any background whatsoever. The only thing is you should be, you should work hard when you come here, you should be passionate about this field. And that's where I say a lot of students ask me like, I mean, I'm making a lot of YouTube videos on how to build mathematical models, right? And people say that, oh, these things are not there in out there. How are you learning it? And not everything I'm doing at my job, or not everything I've done back in my previous work experiences. So definitely I read a lot. I read a lot of books. I watch a lot of videos. Sometimes, you need to connect 3 to 4 different videos together to understand the concept, and that's where you build the model, right? So point I'm trying to say is you need to be passionate. You should not come in to pursue masters in quant finance just because you are thinking that pursuing a master's degree will get you a job. That's a very wrong impression. This was the case almost like 5 to 7 years back, okay, when people used to do their masters and they used to get a job just by doing the masters. Right now that is not the case. You need to do your masters, you need to do a lot of projects, you need to do a lot of networking. You need to excel in everything, because it's not about the job. You need to take care of yourself, you need to cook food, clean apartment. There are a lot of things that goes in parallel. So point I'm trying to say is, don't take it lightly. But to answer that question, definitely anyone who belongs to a quant finance, or who belongs sorry anyone who wants to transition into quant finance can come here. So, what are the biggest challenges students face in a quant finance program? Okay, so what I would say is, what I can tell about my problems that I faced and bunch of juniors who I talk to on a daily basis. So I would say like most of the times, adjusting in a new country is very different because. I mean, Americans are, they're like, if you see Indians, right? We try to, I mean, we bump, I mean, even if someone is walking on the street, or I don't know, I mean, how should I say that? Okay, I'll put in easy words. So the the culture, be it the education system, be it the way these Americans are, they are very different from Indians. Indians, as in Indians, we really like to, talk with each other. Even if it's our neighbor, we'll go, knock and take certain things like sugar, chai patti, whatever it is, right? But this is not the case here. I'm living in my apartment for more than like 15 months, or almost like 14, 15 months. I do not know who my neighbor is, because here that's the case. It's a very different environment altogether. So adjusting in a new environment is difficult. The most difficult part for me was to understand the mathematical subjects. And why do I say that? Because you need to solve a lot of derivations for a lot of things. And that's where, I was working at PwC for 3 years, and I lost my contact with education because I was not doing any sort of education back at PW during my time at PwC. So I lost my touch. There were a lot of concepts like in linear algebra. There were a lot of concepts in differential equation which I actually forgot. And that's where you realize that, in the very first semester I realized I need to study a lot of things. I still remember my GPA in my first semester was 3.8 or 3 point something, 3.8 or something like that. And even though it's a good CGPA, 3.8 on a scale of 4, but I still felt that, because I was lacking in so many things, I could have excelled. And that's why in my second and third semester, I got a GPA of 4 on 4. So that's where I feel like, because 18 months you will be just studying. So make sure that if you are coming here in US, start studying from now on. At this very point you should start studying. So what should you study? Definitely I would say revise concepts of linear algebra and differential equation. And when I say revise concepts, you don't need to go solve the equations and everything. No, I'm not talking about that. Just see what all topics are there. Just try to remember. If you are able to remember, try to read certain topics. You don't need to do the complete course altogether if you have already taken certain courses like that. And I feel programming is very important. More I remember during my time at NC State University, I was doing Python, I was doing RStudio, I was doing SAS, and I was doing MATLAB. And I had assignments in all these four different programming languages. So if you are someone who's not a programmer, I would highly suggest start programming, because that is something that will help you when you come here for your master's degree. And I know ChatGPT is there. You can code anything using ChatGPT, and most of the assignments you can solve using ChatGPT. But again, remember, ChatGPT is not in the industry. I don't use ChatGPT in my job. You have to code it. You have to do everything, right? And sometimes, I mean, point I'm trying to make is, please start learning how to code. Python is a great language. Sometimes people ask me, how important is to learn C++ plus plus or different programming languages. I just say, like, start with Python. That's the best language you can start with, because it's very friendly. It's very easy to pick. I know, like, certain students from commerce background, you might face difficulty in the initial, but I'm very sure that over the time you'll be able to digest all the concepts of programming very easily, because Python is very friendly. So I would highly recommend that to pursue Python. So I guess these were certain questions. Let me read certain other questions which I had. Uh, Okay, what is the typical cost of a master's degree in quant finance, and is it worth the investment? So, okay, this is a very good question, and this is where I really want to emphasize a lot of things. So, so if you see the tier one universities, all the top-notch universities or Ivy Leagues, they are charging on an average of $100,000. I know Boston University, they charge $125,000. Columbia charges $97,000. Cornell also charges are along the same lines. All the Ivy League university, their average is $100,000. And does it promise to give you placement, or does it let's say, does it is it worth the investment? I'll say it depends. I know. So I guess for Columbia they had a batch. I'm saying last year or this year. I guess this year I mean, of course, when they started. So I guess people who graduated this year, they had a batch size of 120, 120 students graduated, and only two-thirds students got placed, and one-third students did not get placed from Columbia. I'm saying from Columbia University, which is like the top-notch university. So in Columbia, if you think 40 students have not gotten placed, and that's such a big number, right? And that too, we have paid $100,000 of your education fee. So that's why I'm saying tier one university, they have like $100,000 fees. There is no guarantee. No one will guarantee you job. In India, the things are very different. Placement scenarios are very different. You get companies will come to your place, to your campus, to offer you job. But in USA it's not the case. You will have to basically file in applications for all the different companies. You need to go to their career page, look out for opportunities such as quant researcher, quant analyst, risk analyst, credit risk, market risk, model validation, whatsoever, and then apply for all those opportunities. I know people who do like 100 applications every day, and they have filed like 4,000 applications. I'm not even kidding. I know so many students out there. If you want, I can bring in students like them onto my podcast. So I would say these things are very important. Please make sure, don't take it lightly. So if you're planning to pursue masters from tier 1 university, their education fees is very high. For me, I feel one of few of the best universities I feel is NC State and Georgia Tech. Even Stony Brook is a good university. The reason I say why is it good university, because so for NC State and Georgia Tech, their admission, their education cost is $63,000, and most of the students I know, at least from NC State and even from Georgia Tech, all I would say most of them get jobs. So you are paying less. See, $60,000 is no less. I'm not saying it's less, but comparing with other programs, it's definitely less. So $60,000 you pay, and you have a very high probability of getting a job. So that's why I'm saying that universities like this which have has a lower education cost. Even Stony Brook is one of the best universities you can pursue. It's very underrated, very underrated. Even you would not see Stony Brook's name in Continent. The reason they don't have their name in Continent is because they don't want themselves to be ranked. So that's why their program is not ranked by Continent. Otherwise, Stony Brook is really a very good university. So point I'm saying is, on an average, if you're planning to go for Tier 1 university, your education cost will be $100,000. If you're planning for Tier 2 universities like Georgia Tech, NC State, Rutgers University, then NYU London, so their admission, I guess NYU London is also expensive, but on an average, I would say if you're planning Georgia Tech, NC State, their fees is $63,000. For Rutgers, last year it was 75. I don't know if they've increased or not, but it was $75,000. Definitely a lot of money to put in when you're planning to come for your masters. But again, the level of education that you get in USA, it's nowhere comparable to India. I remember someone saying that, oh, I pursued a masters from this institute in India, right? And I have learned a lot of quant finance. And honestly, I'll tell you, the professor here, they have worked for 30 years, almost a lot of decades in the Wall Street. And what they talk is the real stuff. They're not just talking about the bookish things. They actually tell what happens in the industry. How models are being used, how mathematical models are being made, how to what's the application side of it, in which all applications are they used. So they have like 30 years of quant finance, and I'm not just saying finance. They have 30 years of quantitative finance experience, and you cannot compare anyone in India with that, with professors like this. So point I'm trying to say is, of course, the best part of coming to US is the education, because the education that you get here, you will get nowhere, I'm telling you. Because the kind of so a lot of universities, what happens is, if you do not get an internship, you tend to work on a summer project, and these summer projects are sponsored by different organization, and you are actually working on the real stuff. So a lot of you interact with the real industry folks, who are working in Wall Street, and or who are working in different big organization, and you're developing a product for them. Now this product can be an investment portfolio product, or stochastic interest rate models, or stochastic volatility models, or a risk management model. It can be anything, or a trading strategy. It can be anything, but point I'm trying to say is, definitely the education that you get, it's the best in US. Nowhere compared to London, any Germany, Canada, any country you consider, it's nowhere comparable. US is the best for pursuing your masters in quant finance education wise. But again, definitely a lot of investment goes into place. But if you are working hard, I know students who have worked hard and who have gotten the jobs, and they have gotten like 110, $120,000 as an average package. So I would say, if you are thinking that you'll come here and get $200,000, that is not the case at all. And on an average, people get like 120, 110, and depending on how fast you go to the seniority level, of course your package will increase. So that was all about the typical cost of a master's program in USA. And so last question that I have is, that someone asked me is, how does the choice of university or program impact your career prospect? Definitely, it will impact your career prospect. I would say talk to people. Like, I'll not mention the university name, but there's a university. It is an Ivy League. So not an Ivy League, but it's like the top university, right? And I was talking to five. I spoke to five different students. Even though the name of the university is so up, they said the program is not so good. Neither professors are worried about the students, neither the career service department is worried about the students. You just come here, listen to professor, and submit your assignments, and that's all. And that's where I feel like they are doing so much injustice, because they are charging like $100,000 from students. Whereas I remember at NC State, So my education fee was $60,000 because I scored 4 on 4 GPA in 2 semesters. I got a $5,000, so $2,500 scholarship in one semester, and $2,500 scholarship in second semester. So in total, I got a scholarship of 5,000 because of my academics, and so my 60,000 went down to $55,000, and definitely that's actually a low fees as if you compare to $100,000 of education cost, right? And I feel NC State, the best part about NC State is their cohort is very small, 30 to 40 students, that's it. And if you see last 4 5 years of track record, 100%, 100 plus percent placement. It's 100% placement. So the best part about the program is their cohort size is small, and the professors are able to basically build a strong relationship with the students. Now just imagine if you have a cohort of 150 students, 120 students, how in this earth will you be able to build a strong connection with the professor? You cannot. So that's where I say, like, the choice of university directly influence your decision, your career at in the United States. Make sure that if you are coming here, speak to a lot of people, speak to a lot of alumni of that university, ask them if the university is good or not. Just say that you please give me an honest opinion, because of course everyone loves their university. They will basically talk a lot of good things about the university, but you need to ask them, like, please be honest and tell me what are the good things and the bad things about the university. So I would say that if you have gotten an admit, because I believe there are a lot of application deadline this month, so please apply for on the for different universities. And I believe like in 2 months of time you will get all the applications, all the results from these different universities. And please make sure that make a wise decision, talk to their alumni. Don't think that if the university name is high, you will get a job. Nothing like that. As I said, please refer to Quantnat. It's one of the best ranking for quant finance. So I would highly request you to check that Quantnat website. They basically rank different programs. They have like the placement statistics also for different programs. So I would say that go check out, and please speak to a lot of alumni of that current university, of the whatever university you are targeting. So guys, this was all about speaking about masters in quant finance. Again, it's a very wise decision to pursue masters in quant finance from USA. At least in academics, they cannot be beaten by any of the country. Their professors have a lot of years of working experience. They have a good clarity of what to teach and how to make you a good quant. They know what are the subjects that are important for a quant finance jobs, because whatever subjects I have studied, they are being actually utilized in my job. So they know the concepts and the subjects of what to teach and why to teach. So I would say that if you are planning to pursue a master's in quant finance, definitely a good decision. But on the university, please make a wise decision to talk to different alumni, and then decide which university to go into. So I wish you all the best, guys, and I hope this video might have helped you in some or the other ways. Thank you so much.